Hello and welcome to Education World. I'm Reshma. We are here today for a quick understanding of perspectives from stakeholders on one of the most recent proposals by the CBSE to conduct Class 10 board exams twice each year, starting from 2026. Right now, it's a draft notification and stakeholder feedback has been invited by the board. The board says that this is in alignment with the NEP 2020, which proposes to eliminate the high stakes aspect of board exams. Students can choose to appear for either one of these exams or both the exams, and the best of their results will be considered. Over the past 1 week, we've seen very strong views being expressed about this. There are views which are for this, and there are views which are against this. For a quick discussion on this, we have with us Dr. M. Srinivasan. He is the president of Management of Independent CBSE Schools Association, and he's the founder of GARE Foundation. He's an educationist who's been a very active voice representing privately owned CBSE schools across Karnataka. We also have with us Pratima Gupta. She's the Assistant Director at Sunbeam Group of Schools. She's been associated with the group for over 2 decades now. And with a background in psychology, she has a very different perspective in comprehending the problems that adolescents face. Mohan Raj is one of the founding members of Voice of Parents Association in Karnataka. He is a parent himself. The association owns a very active social media handle that has been advocating rights of parents and children in Karnataka. I'd like to start off this discussion by asking Dr. Srinivasan about his views on having two board exams, because I think over the past 1 week, we've heard him say that this is not a welcome move and that he's planning to write to the CBSE about his views.
Thank you, Reshma. Actually, there are three aspects of this issue we are discussing. The
Okay.
exam is for 10th board, and then conducting the exam, and then the administrative aspect and the policy aspect. Coming to the first one, I don't know why it has to be for the 10th only. It could have been for 10th and 12th, or it may be experimenting with the 10th to decide about 12th. I don't know. We are a little concerned about the administrative aspect because all said and done, it's CBSE schools, meaning the principal and the teachers who are involved in setting up the papers, if not so much setting the paper, but administering the exam, correcting the papers during the academic session. Even now, whenever there is an exam that is towards March, the whole school gets disrupted. We cannot afford to have this twice a year because it would mean disrupting the education of other children.
Okay.
Because we are a school up to 12th standard. In general, most of the schools are up to 12th. Even if they are not up to 12th, children up to 9th will get disturbed because these are the same teachers who will be drafted for evaluation. They will be conducting exams. And then there are so many other things involved in an exam business, like sending the list, getting the mark list, giving it to the children. There are so many things. So we are a little worried about this administrative requirement, which will fall on the teachers, which will disrupt education. We don't know kind of a solution for this. My expectation would be CBSE to set up its own department, at least to conduct one of the examinations by themselves.
Okay. Dr. Pratima, so now we've heard from Dr. Srinivasan. He says that it's going to be a very long drawn process, especially for teachers, and it's going to mean a lot of administrative work. What is your take on this?
I completely concur with him because if it comes to the execution of the entire examination, that in itself, in a fully running school, with the internal home examinations also happening simultaneously, when the school is a center, when you have students coming in from other schools, so on and so forth, actually the running of the school does get jeopardized to a very large extent. And there are so many roadblocks in terms of obviously availability of teachers. A lot of times we have also wanted that post-examination also you call the students to the school for certain, remediations, or probably you want to do a little bridge kind of orientation for the next class and so on and so forth. But because of the schedules of the copy correction, so on and so forth, teachers are not available. This being the administrative issue that we are talking about, but more than that, what I seriously have, problems with is that whilst we are talking about doing away with the stress, so to say, associated with the board examinations and how children hype it all up for themselves, it's listing towards sort of taking away the stress of the student and then sending a stress teacher into the classroom for the next academic session. So I do not understand, whatever policy decision you make, you have to do it for the benefit of the larger community as such, and all the stakeholders would benefit from it. Now the student is coming down and away a little from the stress, so the teachers are stressed that they have to correct twice over. The administrative, faculty of the school are stressed that their school will be a center twice over. The entire calendar of an academic session gets jeopardized because you have to factor in two main examinations.
Okay.
And all because you don't want students to be stressed. I mean, what about building resilience into students? What about making students and learning for the students, making it so child friendly and user friendly that for the child an examination is nothing but a reiteration of the learned concept in a very non-threatening manner? What about doing away with the format of the examination? What about working upon the format of the examination as such, where the child takes in an examination because he or she wants to validate that what he has learned and comprehended is good enough, is of a certain standard and is effective? And what about teaching them how to then take it to the next level instead of now preparing for another exam? So to me, it's a very lopsided kind of a policy. You sure you send the children home happy, but the teachers who are going to go into the classrooms of these children are going to be burdened, stressed, overworked, and honestly, they will go tired into the next session also. This is what I feel.
Okay, okay. So, if we can have Mohan's perspective on this, do you agree with the two academicians who think that it's going to be very stressful for teachers, but what do you think it is going to look like from the perspective of students and parents?
Yeah, so I heard, both the academicians, speak on this subject.
So
My
sorry
view
to interrupt. You will need to place your camera a little away from me. Yeah.
Okay, so my view is that we need to take a balanced approach, and I do understand that this requires a wider consensus and consultation across all the stakeholders. From the teacher's perspective, they have to rush to finish the syllabus. I think the first exam, if I am given to understand from whatever circular CBSE has sent to Kendra Vidyalaya and few of the other CBSE schools, is that they plan to have it in December and then in May. And I also hear from concerns from teachers that how are they going to allot the examination duties, correction duties, and so on and so forth, the logistics, the planning part of it. Now coming to the parent and child's perspective, see, from a child's perspective, if the objective is to reduce the stress, I don't know how much of stress will go away just by splitting the examinations into two without elaborating on the weightages and things like that. And the child has to sit through the summer till at least May to take the second attempt. Okay, which also kind of builds up anxiety and stress in the minds of children and parents as well, giving them time. So just now we got relieved that from my perspective, I can say my child just appeared for the class 12 board exam, and today was her last examination, biology being the last examination for grade 12. So while Srini sir also mentioned it's not implemented for grade 12. So the point is how much of that stress will go away if we were to split this into two examinations, and what are the weightages going to be? A section of teachers also say that the earlier system during COVID, where the term 1 and term 2 exam marks were taken into consideration, that was a better move than conducting 2 examinations. And though the weightages were not very clear, what weightages are considered for term 1 and term 2. So my view is that this requires wider consultation and deliberation than implementing it. And teachers also deserve much needed leave. Is a vacation time during which the plan to conduct the second examination sometime in May. It's quite sunny and hot during May, when most of the students and teachers would be on leave. And irrespective of one or more children opting for the examination, teachers anyway have to complete the syllabus, plan for all this. So this is going to be a logistic problem as well, and resourcing problem as well, which need to be taken care. So that is my view in general. In fact, we need to improve on the quality of education all up to the higher education level. That's what we need to improve the odds in life, and based on the economics Nobel Prize being awarded in 2021. If you see the white paper published by the economists, it says we need to focus more on the quality of education than these kind of measures.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, if I can quickly go back to Dr. Srinivasan and ask him, what has the feedback been like from parents and students at your school, sir?
See, I have not been able to consult with children so far, but parents are not really very enthusiastic about this. Because it disturbs their life also. And more than that, like Mr. Mohan Rai said, instead of improving education, improving children's resilience, we are trying to always find the easy way. Why can't we improve the examination system where children need not mug up? Children need not get stressed. Children need not study so much. See, studying so much doesn't make them brilliant or intelligent. And they don't emphasize on that. And also, there was a system called CCE.
Yes.
Why they can't bring it back? I don't know why it was scrapped, first of all. It was brought in after a lot of deliberations. I was very active as a Sahodaya person during those days, and it was doing well. Teachers were having some issues, and teachers could have been trained. That is a progressive way of doing things. Or if there are certain regions having certain problem, we also should look at multiple ways. You give a choice for some time. For 5 years, you can do either CCE or regular exam. Let people get trained. We cannot go with one policy for the whole country because we are about 30 countries put together. It doesn't work that way. You take rural areas, you take urban areas, their behaviors are different, their way of looking at things are different. So they can be taught differently to achieve some level. Now we are trying to have a common phenomenon called examination. Why the same for all? Why can't we give more weightage to various other aspects during the school time, which is CCE, modify that? So we have to look at some novel solutions rather than hitting at something which is convenient.
Got it. I think Pratima was also indicating, she was also pointing out at something very similar, talking about why can't we have a change in the format of the exam? Is this the same thing that you were proposing as well?
True. See, we can even ask children to give their inputs.
Absolutely.
We should collect inputs across from every school and then sift them and then see what is workable. We have taken a top-down approach. Even if it's a good policy, it will not produce results. We could have talked to teachers, we could have talked to management, we could have talked to parents. We may get some brilliant ideas.
Pratima, do you agree with what Dr. Srinivasan is saying, that there has to be a continuous assessment rather than having 1 or 2 board exams per year?
Yes, because see, somehow, if you take an examination at any point of time, after a certain amount of time has elapsed in the academic session, the child typically understands that I'm expected to produce a result or I'm expected to give my optimum only in these stipulated days. Rest of the days, I can be an indifferent learner. I can be a focused learner or non-focused learner. It's not important. Learning throughout the session is not important, provided you do extremely well in the said days of the examination and you get a report card at the end of it, which is not at all the goal of NEP or any good education policy, regardless of who made it and when did they make it, right? Our aim is to foster love for learning and to make individuals future ready because they will be adapting and innovating with the learned concepts. So one examination or 3 examination does not guarantee that. Focused interaction in the classroom, great quality of academic transaction in the classroom guarantees that. And it's a very myopic view to say that if I divide an examination into 3 times, then the child feels less stressed. The child goes through 3 cycles of apprehension, performance, and you have forever told the child that if you can't do well in these 15 days, well, chill out for another month because you have another 15 days and get your grades in the report cards. It is going to be detrimental. We are taking a step back from whatever is the vision of the NEP. And CC, definitely, like Mr. Srinivasan, we were also the schools that were into training of other schools for the CCE, and we loved it. We loved it. We did it. That was truly a de-stressed child in the class. At that point of time, the teachers had to exert and learn and become non-judgmental and really understand as to how to deal with the rubrics. That was learning happening on all levels. So I would say that why don't we go back to that if that be the cause? But of course, we will not go back to that for certain reasons which are known to certain people. Perfectly fine, given. But I think let us all sit down and do a deep reflect and understand that short-term gains, which seem very nice, which seem very radical, which seem like, wow, we've pulled a rabbit out of a pretty jaded hat, but, is going to benefit all. No, it won't. It may sound very appealing because it is so different, but that's about all that it is.
Sure. So if I can quickly sum it up for all our viewers, some of the key takeaways from today's discussion was that I think it's very important to consider stakeholder feedback by stakeholders. We especially are talking about teachers who are already overburdened and the kind of academic pressure that 2 exams will levy on them. And probably the board has to reconsider having a continuous assessment rather than having 2 or 3 board exams. And out of the understanding that it is probably not going to help the children and it's only going to add to more stress. So with this, I'd like to wind up our discussion and I'd like to thank all 3 of our panelists for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice
Thank
listening
you.
to all of
And
you.
thank you because I met like-minded people on the panel. More power to us.